on to Milwaukee. Hello everybody, I'm Roman Rodriguez for Baseball Banter Broadcast, and I'm here to give you a Rays perspective and review over the 3-game series versus the St. Louis Cardinals, and also kind of amp you up for the upcoming series versus Milwaukee for the Rays. The Rays started the series, of course. This was game 1 of 9 for a 9-game road trip to start off the season. As a reminder, the Rays are going to be opening up the Trop after a year-long hiatus. Thank you to Hurricane Milton and Mother Nature. They made a trade, and the acquisition was, destruction over the Bay Area. So the Trop, like many of us here living in the Bay Area, has reconvened and rebounded. So we're really looking forward to showing the nation how well we're doing, of course. And so they're on the 9-game road series with St. Louis. They open up. Wonderful way to open up. A great city, great fandom, all that fun jazz. But they walked away losing 2 of 3 games. All 3 games absolutely were winnable. All 3 games essentially were blown. And we're going to go, 2 of the 3 games were blown. And that's tough. But on the upside, the Rays over that time period did score 23 runs. They did give up 22. And if you take a look at the AL East, that's the most runs scored in the AL East. Yes, granted, the 22 runs were the most given up. But let's focus on some positives for a change, right? So when we talk about the 3 games themselves, let's go ahead and real quick break them down. And we'll talk about what we can expect from Milwaukee. Which, short answer is, it's going to be a tough task. They're starting off 3-0. They did have a 3-game series against the Chicago White Sox. Some would say that Chicago White Sox may be better than the St. Louis Cardinals this year. Some people may say they're on par with each other. Some may even say the Rays are just as good as the Chicago White Sox. We shall see. So when we reflect on the series itself, Game 1... Drew Rasmussen was dealing. He did give up 1 home run, and then the Rays were able to have a Jonathan Aranda home run to tie it up at 1-1. And then the 6th inning happened, as you may see on my article on baseballbanterbroadcast.com. Plug. The 6th inning happened, and the Rays were up 7-1, looking great. Kevin Cash later admitted that he was going to bring Drew Rasmussen in for the 6th inning, but because they scored 6 runs, he didn't see a need for it. And also, it was over 25 minutes that Drew had to wait. So he decided to hand the keys over to the bullpen. I think the plan probably was for Ian Seymour to take it over for an inning or 2, and then hand it off to Griffin Jax or Garrett Clevenger, whichever one was suiting the fancy for that inning, however it would be set up. But unfortunately, Ian Seymour couldn't get an out. He gave up 5 runs off of 5 hits, and then Garrett Clevenger came in, and he was marginally better. He gave up 2 runs, of course, and then Griffin Jax came in, and he was able to basically give the lead over to the opposition, and that was essentially the game. The 6th inning, bullpen let us down. But the Rays still had their opportunities. They still loaded the bases up. In the 7th inning, they still had a chance in the 9th, and unfortunately they could not capitalize it. Now, give credit where credit's due. St. Louis was playing very good defense pretty much the whole series, very sharply. There were a few pockets of not playing very well or playing sharp here and there, but for the most part, those were few and far between. St. Louis was just on top of their game. Also, some optimism from the Rays side. The balls that they were hitting was right at the wall. They're just missing home runs left and right. And those were areas of ballparks, if they hit them in the Trop, or if they hit those type of balls in many different stadiums in the AL East, those are home runs. Those are doubles. So there is some optimism to be had. Just keep on keeping on. Stay with the program, and the success will come. It's just a little bit of bad luck, a little bit of playing an opponent that was on top of the game defensively and just playing better. So hats off to them. Also, the bullpen was missing their pitches in game 1. Now, game 2 rolled around, and it was a different setup, if you will. Joe Boyle came along. He gave up 2 runs, didn't have his location, but then after that, he was very sharp. He pitched 6 innings. He did give up 2 runs, I believe 4 hits and 2 strikeouts. But he did overall play sharp. He was in command. He was ace-like for Game 2. The Rays were down 4-0. It was 2-0 when Joe Boyle left. 4-0 thanks to Fortes. Unfortunately, our catcher making a pivotal error in a miscatch by Chandler Simpson. And that led to 2 runs. Those 2 runs were pretty pivotal because it was in the 8th inning. The Rays had their chance in the 9th, and they ended up coming back and tying up in the 9th inning, 4-4. And then came that wonderful, wonderful ghost runner rule, which that's probably another rant for another time, where each team to start off extra innings gets a ghost runner to start off on second. And the Rays were able to get 1 run. They were not able to capitalize and get multiple. DeLuca, unfortunately, was caught stealing, and that was a strike him out, throw him out, double play. So, sadly, it was not to be capitalized. Then Griffin Jacks came about. Griffin Jacks, and there's Evan Klosky, a local sportscaster here, had an interesting tweet where, or X, whatever we're calling it these days, let me know down in the comments below, and I like to stay hip. But Evan Klosky had an interesting tweet where he talked about how Griffin Jack should not be in high leverage situations. And based on the stats and just based on the eye test, I agree with him. And sure enough, he is in a situation where he had a runner on second with no outs. He ended up walking the first guy. The Cardinals bunted him over, first and second. And then bad location on a fastball. And the young rookie, whose name eludes me at this point, I believe Whiteholt, hit a ball into a area of the second base. He was not set up correctly, I feel, and it went to the outfield, and the runners who were on now second and third were able to pretty much haul buns and score. So that was the end of Game 2, 6-5. Now today, different story. The Rays looked sharp, they looked hungry, they looked angry, as they should be. A lot of scoring, a lot of continued scoring, a lot of crooked numbers. You had Steven Matz on the mound. Overall, he did okay. Starting wise, he did give up a home run to Walker for the Cardinals, and he was able to just keep the Cardinals at bay, keep the momentum down. The bullpen itself, for the most part, was sharp. They had moments of questions. Kevin Kelly, who has not been very good for about 2 years, really. Last year was not very good at all. He gave away a lot of games. He would throw a lot of balls that were in the middle of the zone, and they would get hit very hard. Kevin Kelly was sharp. Mason Englert, unfortunately, gave up three outs, or 3 runs in his set. And Garrett Clevenger did, for the most part, well. He bent but not broke. So high five to him. And then, of course, we have Brian Baker, who I was not overly high on last season. He was hot and cold at times, especially in July when we first got him. But he was able to shut the door, and he was able to get the save. So the Rays walked away with 1 win out of 3 chances. So now they go into Milwaukee. Now, Milwaukee, when I was bragging about the Rays having 23 runs, Milwaukee has 29 runs. Milwaukee has been playing well. They are undefeated, 3-0, and the pitchers that we're going to be bringing up to Milwaukee to face the Brewers, the Brew Crew, will be Nick Martinez for Game 1, Shane McClanahan for Game 2, and then Drew Rasmussen for Game 3. So, Nick Martinez to face off against the Brewers, he did not have a sharp spring at all. So I'm not overly optimistic, but I've been wrong about guys who haven't done very well in the spring, and they've done well in the season. So, we'll see how that turns out. Now, Shane McClanahan, first start since 2023. When he was on the money, he was the best pitcher in the major leagues, period. And it's hard to say where he's at. He's had a lot of setbacks, a lot of injuries, but he has potential. So we'll see. Are we expecting him to be an ace? No, we're expecting him to be healthy and give us innings and win games naturally. So that's who we have for Game 2. Game 3, Drew Rasmussen. A very sharp, very underrated guy. He's a bulldog. He absolutely is. And so realistically, what am I thinking here with Milwaukee? Realistically, I'm hoping, like with pretty much every series, take 2 or 3. If we can sweep, that would be awesome. I doubt it. But you never know. After Milwaukee, then you'll get a review talking about prepping us for Minnesota. But that's my thoughts for the Rays. What are your thoughts on them thus far? Good, bad, and indifferent. What are your thoughts on the upcoming series with Milwaukee? Let us know down below. On a personal note, we could always use an admin for the Milwaukee Brewers. If you join, maybe you and I could have banter prepping up for the series or do a review on it. That would be really cool. I know I joined one of the Cardinals broadcasts or podcasts talking about the Rays and Cardinals. Be certain to check those guys out. Scott Plaza's amazing. Great follow on Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it these days. But be certain to check us out down below. Direct message us if you're thinking about joining the squad or team. Even if you're for any team, we would love to have you. But please make certain to like and subscribe so you can keep up with more content. And thank you very much for listening so long. As always, go Rays.